Hi YouTube, Brian James from Brian James Photography up here in sunny Cumbria. When I say sunny, it's sunny, it rains, it's windy, it's all sorts of things. Fabulous little place. I'm based just outside Carlisle at a place called Brampton, about 10 miles outside Carlisle, to the east on the Newcastle to Carlisle road. But as you can tell from my accent, I'm originally from the northeast, from a place called Wallsend. I'm a professional photographer, and as part of my profession I take a lot of corporate shots and also a lot of headshots and portraits and high volume work such as schools and cadet forces. For my recreational side, I do tend to like to take photographs of old buildings such as churches or viaducts, anything built in traditional stone, and I love finding out some of the history of them as well. As you can see from the badge here, I'm a Rotarian. I'm a very proud Rotarian, and Rotary for me is one of those opportunities which lets me do something volunteering wise in the community and a little bit altruistic. So you'll see as through my videos, you'll see an awful lot of Rotary badges coming onto here because it's something I truly believe in. Let's see, I've got 3 streams that I mainly do on this channel. They do a training one. I'm doing some. They're pretty much one-on-ones with my sister. My sister bought a camera just after Christmas, and I've taken her almost from the first steps of switching on the camera through some of the basic technical things such as shutter speeds and apertures and ISOs and depth of field, all those techie things, but without needing a degree in photography to understand them, and taking on a little bit of composition about storytelling, the real important thing of what photography is for me. I've been a professional photographer on and off for 35 years. It's 35 years since I took my first professional shots in the mid-80s in 1985, but I've been a photographer since I was 6 years old. My very first camera was borrowed from my father. It was an old twin lens reflex Kodak Brownie, absolute fantastic piece of kit, and really enjoyed taking photographs on that, and the old 127 film, I think it was, roll film. My first SLR camera was borrowed from my father as well, which was a tank like Zenit E, a Russian camera with a screw-on lens and a 50mm lens, but it was huge. It was absolutely massive. When I first got my very first professional camera was 1980. It was an Olympus OM1N, and I still have that camera. There's actually a review of that camera somewhere on my channel if you want to have a look at it, because I've recently pulled it out of the garage and found it to see if it still works. I've had a passion for photography for, well, almost all my life. I'm nearly 60. I've had a passion for photography, for taking photographs, and that thrill of seeing what happens when you take the shot and you actually see the results of that shot when it comes through, and you can see if it's worked or if it hasn't worked. That's that's most of the thrill of photography for me. I have some simple ideas on photography. So I have 3 channels. One is to have a little bit of instruction with my sister. Thoroughly enjoy doing that just on a Zoom chat. It's very free form. It's not an instructional video, but it's really entertaining for us. We have a bit of a chat. She lives just outside Peterborough. I live up here on the Scottish border, just on the English side at Carlisle. So we get together every fortnight or so and see what photographs we've taken. I also have a channel which I do my photo expeditions, because I go out and, as I say, I have a passion for old stone built buildings, viaducts, churches, whatever it is, and I go out and I do some research on it, and I do photo montage with a bit of a narrative over the top to try and give you some sort of interest and see what I see through my eyes, not as a professional photographer, but as a recreational photographer, doing something I really enjoy. And the third one are chats like this. I don't go for the newest, fanciest gear. I don't spend a fortune, even though I'm professional. I don't spend a fortune on the newest cameras. I don't need to. A camera to me is a box, a light-proof box with a hole which happens to have a lens in it for focusing on one end, and some sort of recording medium on the other, which is the film or the sensor, whatever it is. And that's basically all a camera is. The important thing with a camera for me is the story it tells. Now, the technology on cameras does make that storytelling easier and gives you the opportunity to actually be able to see things in a different way to what the human eye does. If you're using a wide angle lens, or if you're using a telephoto lens, whatever it is that you're trying to do, if you're using filters, if you're using effects filters onto it, whatever it is, it gives you the opportunity to take that image and see it in a way that you wouldn't normally. But effectively, I'm a very simplistic photographer. I like the simple things, and I like some of the more traditional things. So if I do reviews on cameras and on equipment on this, it's usually because I've used it and usually because it's what I've already got. I'm not sponsored on this. I don't have anybody buy me cameras. I've bought all my own cameras. I bought all my own gear, and that gives an honest opinion. So if I'm actually saying something to you about what I'm saying, if I like it, I'll tell you I like it. If I don't like it, I'll tell you I don't like it and why. But most of the equipment that I've got because it's what I like. Now you might be wondering where the Micro Four Thirds guy comes in. Well, a few years ago I switched over from predominantly using Canon full frame and APS-C censored cameras, and I got my very first Micro Four Thirds camera. I love the format of it. The small, the light, the lenses are tiny and super high quality, and I love the 4:3 aspect ratio rather than the 3:2 aspect ratio that you get on 35mm or full frame. It gives it a really pleasing image. So I got very hooked onto the Micro Four Thirds. I take it almost everywhere, and a couple of years ago I was at a shoot with another couple of professional photographers that we've grown to know over the years, and learned to appreciate each other's work. And I just heard one of them say, "Oh, here comes Brian, that Micro Four Thirds guy again." And it suddenly stuck, and I realised that I had become very much an advocate of Micro Four Thirds photography. And it's something I use now. Now, as you'll find if you look at some of the videos, I don't have any full frame cameras. I've got one APS-C camera, but everything I shoot now is on Micro Four Thirds. I love the format. I'm a real advocate of the format, whether it's Olympus or Panasonic Lumix. I love them. I love the lenses. I love what they do. So if you have an inkling towards Micro Four Thirds photography predominantly, or photography in general, come and join me on the channel. I post regularly. I don't, as I say, profess to be anything of an expert on anything that I talk about. It's what I actually glean from what I do. So if you want to come along and join me, please do. I'd love to see you on the journey. If you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button below, because again, that's going to send out new notifications of the videos. Hit the little bell beside it, it'll send you an email on it. I'm not sponsored, I'm not monetized at the moment. Hopefully, if I can get enough subscribers, I might be able to make some money out of it, but I very much doubt it. But I'm actually doing this because of the passion of what I do. Thanks for joining me. Please subscribe. Please join me on the journey. Please share my enthusiasm and let me share in your enthusiasm. If you want to drop some comments on any of the videos, please feel free to do so. I'd love to see your comments. Try and make them positive though. The negative comments, well, they don't do much for anybody. But if you do a positive comment about something, either that you see in the video or something that it prompts in your mind, that's the sort of thing that other people who read the comments will actually get from it. So for me, it's not really a problem. But if somebody else can actually glean something from your comment, then we all win. So look forward to seeing you as I go through my journey. Look forward to seeing you in your next video. And keep up with Brian James, that Micro Four Thirds guy up here in Cumbria. All the best. Bye-bye.